NewGenGamers.com.
And they had an official Nintendo strategy guide for it, which this was one of the first games to get an official Nintendo strategy guide because it was so hard. After some of their earlier ones, it was one of their first ones that they released for a specific game.
Like Final Fantasy and this.
Yeah. Now, as you can see here, I got the Bolo. Now I went the wrong way. But they trick you because you can only jump one square at a time. So a lot of the rooms, you have to figure out how to get through them by figuring out where to jump, and it's just very deceptive. The enemies here can cross the water, but I can't, so they have kind of an advantage in attacking, so it's tough to hit guys sometimes. And the dungeons are very treacherous. As I said, really, really hard puzzles. The piano puzzle, and I think like the 5th dungeon is...
I'm loving the graphics on this game.
Any person who can just get that piano
is a natural.
Is either it's not a common logic problem though. It's very tough. I mean, you just have to keep trying stuff. It's so hard. So this game challenges you the whole way through. Great game. Very underrated. Missed by a lot of
I like the step
fans.
Puzzle there.
Anyone who's a fan of action RPGs, adventure games, Zelda, would love this game. I know there's something else here. I think there is. Nope. So you got to jump on every little block to make sure in every room. So a lot of the here we
what's
go.
Up with that?
Oh yeah, this is where the game gets tough. Oh God, yeah.
And you died.
And you die. A lot.
Oh.
So this is more than just kill the enemy, solve the puzzle. You've also got a lot of timing in those puzzles. Oh my goodness.
So there's a lot to this game.
Oh, it
very
is,
deep.
It's very deep and very hard. There's a lot of dungeons. You saw when I started off there, I was on that spaceship. As you get deeper into the story and figure out the mystery of your uncle, you encounter space aliens and robots and all that fun stuff.
Which once again proves that when Nintendo makes an RPG, they really put their heart and soul into it.
Yeah, I don't know which team did this game, but kudos to whoever did it. This is one of their really great designs that we never saw a sequel of. We're looking at a lot of these one-hit wonder games that never saw sequels.
Well, a lot of good Nintendo RPGs never get sequels, like Earthbound.
Yeah.
Or at least not ones that we see here in America.
Okay, so that's me getting a stomping in Star Tropics. Check it out.
Yeah, it's an awesome game.
Is this on the Virtual Console?
Yes, it is. I actually gifted it to Luke.
Well, then I'm sure Luke enjoyed it, and anyone else who likes Nintendo games and really great games is probably going to like this, because there's a lot to like. And it's also one of the few games where you get to have a dolphin friend, and which I think's very impressive. And there's also a lot of subtle humor and some in-jokes. There's just too much to like. Check it out. This is one
very Earthboundish.
One that Ron very, very highly recommends. It gets my my 2 thumbs up.
All right, we're gonna move on now. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Console Wars of the Past.
And if you
doing the NES era,
and if you haven't left, then you're still with us.
Yes. Thank you for sticking with us through this
arduous, epic journey through the Nintendo Entertainment System lore, history, and
I think arduous is a strong word.
It's been arduous. We've had a lot of challenges. The challenge has been there. We have met it.
It's always there.
Now, we talk about the challenge always being there. That reminds me of a company called Sega.
Yes, Nintendo's competition at this time.
I think Sega had a video game system out at this time, but me and the rest of the world did not know about it.
No, most people didn't. It was the one we covered before this. Now, it was a very good system and a very underrated system, but unfortunately, About 5 people knew about it.
Yes, we're speaking of the Sega Master System. Some people may have never even heard of it. it's
Well, remember, our Sega Master System is before this.
Well, any attentive viewer would already know all about the Sega Master System. But for those of you Nintendo fans who have just hopped onto this to check out the NES and want to see more of some lesser-known systems,
Get away!
The Master System was a head-to-head competitor with the Nintendo, but they only ended up selling about 9 million units. Nintendo sold about 62 million. We see who won that battle.
That's a slight landslide.
And to return to another story that we kind of left off on earlier, because we jump around here with because there's so much information with this system.
And we don't want to sound dry and boring.
Yeah, so we're trying to hit as much as possible. We talked about Atari having the Atari 7800 ready in 1984, but not releasing it. They sat on it because they thought the video game industry was dead. They didn't think there was a sustainable market. So they had a product and they said, screw it. We're just not even going to waste our time with it. We've lost too much money. Let's just be a computer company. So Nintendo releases the bomb of the Famicom in Japan, and it takes off. 85, they release it in America, and instantly it takes off. Next thing you know, everyone's playing Super Mario Brothers. Everyone's buying a Nintendo. Atari stands there holding their dicks and says,
what happened?
Why did we not do this? Wait a second. We have one of those. People want these things again. We have a video game system. Let's release it.
Ooh.
But they released it way too late with way too little. It's still, even coming out several years later, didn't have hardly any games for it at its launch. Basically, all they had were the games that were developed for the original launch, and it failed miserably. So when we get to that system, we'll talk about its failures. The Master System, check out that video to see the failures that went on there. And for even more on this, visit newgengamers.com and read the articles that Ray's put together on the console wars for some even more insight and some things that we didn't get to talk about in the videos.
Yeah, I compiled a lot of in-depth information on, the actual history of the companies in this one. So you can look more into their histories, if you haven't heard it here.
Or visit your local Wikipedia.
Yes, that's also a good way to look at it. But I'd prefer they read my articles.
Yes, I'd prefer they watch all of our content because we're trying to lay this out as an experience of enjoying these consoles. Not just as a documentary, but also to feel the magic and culture behind these pieces of machinery and how they have really affected the world since they've come out. Nintendo has sold over 1 billion video game cartridges. That is phenomenal. So here we're looking at a game by Midway. This was a huge success in the arcades, a very different type of game, but really fun. Your goal is to get these papers inside of the mailboxes, which Ray's having some difficulty with.
That's because there's evil tires.
There are evil tires in this game. There are a lot of evil neighbors in this game. So it's really lighthearted. You're the paper boy just trying to earn a couple bucks by making it through town, throwing papers.
But this is the most treacherous town known to man.
Yeah, so you've got to try and get through the obstacles and get all your papers delivered to all the houses that have subscribers.
I think I'm just going to give one to everybody today.
Warning, such behavior is irresponsible, immature, and very foolish. We recommend you try it at home. Paperboy from Mindscape for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
NewGenGamers.com.